Hi, we are the Ohio guys here, joined by Kris Carr. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. The honor is ours.
Yeah.
So we got a few questions to ask you, and I know this is your first interview, if I'm not mistaken. First of all, what's it like working in the industry today?
Oh, it's really fun and exciting. And it's been a big transition for me coming from Texas, where, all of the dubs really are done, to out here in LA, where it's more commercials and video games and stuff. But it's a really great time, too, for young people who are interested in gaming to get started and try to find their way into voiceover as well. And there's just so many more opportunities now just because of all the different media that's happening. So it's cool. It's an exciting time to be working.
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And speaking of, what is your favorite show you have worked on?
Ooh. As a viewer, Ungo, just because I love that story. I think it's so cool. And Emily Neves is so good in that as Inga. As a performer, probably Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere, just because that character was so ridiculous and fun. And it was one of the last times I got to work with Stephen Foster too, so I just love that project.
Yes, Foster.
Oh, he's the best. I love him.
All right, other good shows. Well, speaking of Ungo, what was it like working on it?
Oh, Ungo was great. It was my first big thing that I did where I was a major character, and Stephen took a really big chance on me by casting me in it. And it was just so fun because it was a character that was pretty close to how I sound and act in real life already. So it was a really good master class in just working on acting and not trying to do a goofy voice or really focus on some of the nitpicky things and just really try to be a good actor and to bring a solid performance to it, to that lovely story that they had. So it was so fun. It was a good one.
Nice. Another good show. What was it like working on Bodacious Space Pirates?
I love Bodacious Pirates. It was my first time working with Chris Ayres, which was really cool because he's such a nice guy and so talented. And Maki's such a small part in it, so it was just kind of fun to come in and goof off and, do my little lady voice. And it's always fun to have on my resume because people who aren't familiar with it always think that that's probably the most ridiculous, obscene one I've done. It's Bodacious Space Pirates. Oh, I don't know about that. But it's such a cute show. It was fun. And Chris, it was such a good experience working with Chris. And then that led me to working with him on Battle Girls Time Paradox and, being able to work with him more, which was awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Now I have a little funny question I want to ask you. If you could be any character you have played in real life, who would you be? And you can mix and match.
All right. Well, obviously the sassy Siamese cat from Blade and Soul, so I can just, run around and fight crime as a cat. Or have Yura's body and have a very different career trajectory and be an assassin. That would just be awesome.
That works. Oh, and speaking of Blade and Soul, what was it like working on it?
Oh, it was great. It was my first time since moving out to LA, really getting back into doing dubs and kind of getting back to my roots doing that. And it was one of the first times I got to play an adult woman, which was really fun. I showed up into the booth and was like, okay, so what small woodland creatures am I going to play? What you got for me? And then they were like, no, you're going to be the villain. That's who we called you in for. Oh, okay. So it was really fun because it's so different from anything else I really do. Because usually it's all, kids, or in the game even I'm cats or plogbles or other things like that. So Yura was a really cool character for me to explore and, see where some of my vocal range could go and also kind of give me opportunity to play a badass, which is not something I usually do. So it was so fun.
Awesome. All right, now back to the anime questions. What was it like working on Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere?
Horizon was so fun. It was such a ridiculous voice. And what a lot of people don't understand, I think, sometimes too, is we don't get the scripts ahead of time. So we don't know anything about the plot, the characters, things like that, usually when we're going in for these dubs. And so Steven just kind of brought her up on the screen. It was, okay, that's her. She's kind of an airhead. Find a voice for me right now. And so it was just 5 seconds of trying to find a pitch until he finally was like, oh, yeah, that one. That's weird. Do it. I drank so many hot toddies after that one too, just because of pitching my throat the whole time, and going through all of that. But she's so fun and so goofy, and that's the character who I get the most fan contact about. Now Blade and Soul, I'm starting to hear from more people, but usually people have gotten in touch with me over Twitter and stuff in the past because of Margot and how much they like that show too. So that's always cool to hear from everyone.
I bet. All right. What was it like working on Kamisama dolls?
Kamisama dolls started out really weird for me because it was the first time my mom came with me to work. She just wanted to see what I was doing in the booth. And my very first line in that show, I think, is, "Don't you have any balls? Big, strong man balls?" And so my mom was just like, "Okay." And Steven just kind of whips around and was like, "Aren't you glad you're seeing all the magic happen?" So we got off to a great start. And again, that's another character that was just really fun because it's more of what my acting style typically is like too, where it's, kind of bossy, brash young women, and Miyako's super fun and really has a strong sense of herself and a strong sense of her mission and everything too. And it's the closest I've kind of gotten to playing Reihino from Sailor Moon, so that was kind of awesome for me. It's like, yeah, I'm wearing priestess clothes and I'm a badass. Cool. This is almost like being Sailor Mars.
Alright. So is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything you just want to plug in at this time?
Yeah, I've got 2 short films that are starting to do the festival circuit. One is called Car Ghost, and that's directed by Jesse Orrell. It's a really great, sweet, touching film. Robert Picardo, who was on Star Trek Voyager, is in it too. I have another one called Carpe Diem that was directed by Rudy Lopez. So those should be starting to kind of circle out and make their way to the internet too after they're done doing festivals. You can hear me in Maple Story as well as a game guide. And, Blame Soul keeps making all these updates. So definitely keep playing that game. And also, if you follow me on Facebook, I've got a group called Team Effort that we're starting back up that does lots of sketch comedy. So you can follow along there too.
Speaking of social media, is there any Facebook, Twitter, or any of your websites for the fans to get a hold of you?
Oh, all of those things. I love hearing from everyone, so please get in touch with me. My Twitter handle is @Kris Carr, Kriscarr. My Instagram is Kris M. Carr, M as in Mary. And then you can go to my website, kris-carr.com. And then for Facebook, for all of my acting updates, just go to Facebook /actress Kris Carr. And that's a great page. I've got really, really great people on there. It's a good sense of community on there. And definitely shoot me messages. I always try to respond to everybody. Or if you Twitter me. Well, if you tweet me, I'll always respond to you.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us for the interview. And I want to thank our fans for joining us for this interview as well. So, everyone, I'm Christian.
I'm Kris Carr. Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next time.